Going over the famous train tracks here. Ah, yeah, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff when it comes to suspension. You know, it's not like insanely quick. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the all-new Lexus ES 350. Before we get in this video, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry H. Miller Lexus here in Murray, Utah, for giving me some time with this ES 350. I'm going to include a link to their inventory in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. If you have any questions or need any help, just ask for Chris. And then I do want to mention they also have an ES 300H, which is the hybrid version of this car. Let me know if you guys want me to review it, but if you're interested in the hybrid version, they happen to have one as well. And then as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 32 on the highway, with power outputs being 302 horsepower and then 267 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention if you see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, starting with the hood, you guys can see that it's just large and flat there in the center, and we do have some prominent lines here off to the side. Coming down below, we've got the Lexus checkmark LED daytime running lights with the headlights, and then you guys can see here with the chrome trim around the grille, and then notice it's darker for the grille itself, and then we have the normal Lexus logo there in the center with parking sensors. And putting it all together, you know, it looks like a Lexus. Coming around the side here, our tire wheel setup is 235, 45, 18 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see with the design, you got the silver on the top and then the metallic gray below that with the Lexus logo in the center. Fun fact, this has the exact same mirrors as the LC500, and then you guys can see the chrome trim around the windows. And then here's your full side profile on this ES. You guys can see this one's finished in what's called caviar, which is just a fancy term for black with metallic flake, basically. But I do think the wheels pop out quite a bit with this car. So here is our key fob. We got the Lexus logo there on the back. We have our lock function or unlock function, the opening here for the trunk, which bada bing, bada boom. Now, popping inside here, first off, we have the famous Lexus first aid kit, and then you guys can see the floor mats that come with this. But overall space back here is actually really solid. And then if you pick up the carpeting right here and then pick up this little handle, you got some tools underneath. When you're all done, you just lower the trunk like any other. Now we've got that cool Lexus checkmark design here with the taillights, and then we've got all of our regular badges finished in chrome, and then you got that chrome trim that kind of connects everything together. Parking sensors down below, and you can see the covers over the exhaust tips. Keyless entry. Really nice leather trim here on the door panel, and you can see the padding down below. And then look at that contrasted stitching, by the way. And then normal window control, and then we do have some piano black trim and some decent storage space. And then this is a pretty neutral car, so black exterior, black interior, and it was perforated in the center there with the leather seats. Legroom back here is actually really solid. We've got a little storage pocket right here. We've got some vents, and then we got a bunch of charging outlets. Well, USBs and a 12 volt to be exact. And we got our cup holder armrest. I mean, what more could you ask for, folks? And if you're wondering, headroom's actually also really good. And then taking a look at the front door panel, you can see again with all of the leather trim, and look at the stitching that goes across, and then memory seat functionality, and you've got really nice wood trim. That was in the back, by the way, as well. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and then we have all of our window controls here with our mirror adjustment, and the mirrors do power fold in. And then here's a look at the front seat, again perforated in the center, and look at the stitching there. And then you can see all the perforations down below, and then we've got our power adjustments on the side. Pretty simple controls here. That's just open up the trunk, your gas cap release, and then your hood release. Beautiful leather wrapped steering wheel here. You've got darker stitching in the center so it all matches. Adaptive cruise control here with your lane keep assist. Paddle shifters here on the back for the 8-speed automatic. Volume voice command controls for the center stack. Turn signal light stock. Windshield wiper stock. We got the ES's new half digital, half analog gauge cluster, which is pretty cool looking overall. Notice I can scroll through a bunch of different menus right there to see different bits of info on the vehicle. Pretty standard stuff. What's not so standard is when I change the drive modes. Notice it gets red and aggressive, well, white and red, I guess, when you pop into sport mode. And then you've got an eco mode that you can also go into as well. And there is a normal mode, which, there you go. In reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and look at that Lexus clock. That's the infotainment system. We do have our shortcut bar here on the side. Response time is fantastic. And if you've seen any modern Lexus or Toyotas, then you're probably pretty familiar with this infotainment system. It's just their new UI. I'm a big fan, and it's cool that you can get this in like the smaller format like this, or you can get it kind of blown up in some other models. Just on the top of the dash, we have that for the stability control, and then for the drive mode select, and it kind of looks like a snail here. But really nice material use. Notice the wood trim there at the top, and then all of the leather. They've done a great job. So we've got dual zone climate controls here in the ES, and then we've got some analog controls here for the radio, and I like the feel of them actually. And look at that double stack design. So you got like the volume and the tuner in one little set. We have heated and cooled seats and heated steering wheel, and just like other Lexus models, you have an auto system with them, so you can set the climate controls to auto and the heated and cooled seats to auto, so it just does everything for you. We have some like random storage space here, and then some USBs with that little tab, kind of random. Shifter for the 8-speed automatic. It does have a manual shift function. Got a couple cup holders here, and then you've got your auto hold, and then we have a wireless phone charging pad right there. And then look at the center console. Got some USBs, and then again, more of that nice leather padding. No review is complete without showing you guys the glove box, and this one's actually pretty big. And then up top here, you can see we've got controls for the sunroof, and then we have the sunroof itself, and there's a quick look at the mirror. So here's a window sticker for this ES. You guys can see almost everything we went over was actually standard equipment, which is pretty cool. We've got our base MSRP here, $41,340. We do have some options, including the premium package added to this particular one. Total MSRP, $46,655. And try not to hit into the light pole. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood. Both the mirrors do blind spot monitoring. And throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Setting off in the ES 350, and it's actually been quite some time since I've driven a Lexus car. The last Lexus that I drove was the new LX 600. I had that for a week, and that was an absolute blast. But yeah, I forgot like how good Lexus cars drive. So if you've never driven one before, they basically just have this like really solid, comfortable feel. So like when you go over bumps and everything, soaks it up really well. You don't get any rattles in the interior, and you don't get like those weird like chassis flex sounds that you'll get sometimes with the German luxury automakers when you go over bumps as well. And so it's just, I don't know, it's a really good experience. And then also it's just super quiet with the cabin insulation. Continuing along here in the ES, love the steering too. That 8-speed automatic's pretty responsive. It's smooth with the gear shifts. Yeah, going over bumps, like you just really don't feel anything. It's so comfortable. Like this is the type of car that you can just put tons of miles on and just relax. And I think there's something to be said for that, because a lot of these other luxury automakers go way too hard into the sport side of things, which, you know, it's fine. It's great having a super fun, engaging car, but, you know, on daily commutes, how often can you actually use the fun, engaging stuff? Typically, it's just, you know, coasting down the road like we're doing right now. Gonna pop it into the sport mode. Got a little bit more aggressive right off the bat and downshifted. Going over the famous train tracks here. Ah, yeah, that's the good stuff. That is the good stuff when it comes to suspension. You know, it's not like insanely quick, but it moves. Like, it gets up and moves. I'm actually gonna pop into the manual mode. I'm interested to see. It's doing the normal Lexus Toyota thing where it always tries to be smooth. Yeah, so again, it's not going to like knock your socks off in terms of the acceleration or the transmission response like what you might see again with the German automakers, but that's not what this car's trying to do. This car's not trying to be sporty. Yes, it does look sporty, right? But what this car is really trying to accomplish is it's just trying to be smooth and comfortable, and it definitely accomplishes that. So summing things up, I think the ES looks really good on the outside. It's got, you know, Lexus's design language that looks great. Interior is also like amazing. Fit and finish is fantastic. Lots of nice material use throughout, and you can tell that this interior is going to look like this in 100,000, 200,000 miles from now. That's the thing about these Lexus interiors, is like you can just tell like the build quality is top notch. And just like, I feel like the resiliency of the materials, if that makes sense, like I don't know, they last, because I've seen Lexuses with tons of miles, and the interiors, you know, they show some wear, but, you know, not nearly as much as what you see with other automakers, and, you know, they're not falling apart. That's a big thing. So if you're looking for a comfortable luxury car that also, frankly, isn't going to break the bank, because this is, I feel like, I know over $40,000 is a lot of money, but compared to some other cars, it's definitely affordable. But yeah, this is a great, like, luxury cruiser. So that's kind of what the ES is all about. That's gonna sum things up with our video on this ES 350. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Lexus here in Murray, Utah, for giving me some time with this ES. Check out the info in the description down below. Ask for Chris if you have any questions. I'll see you.